Welcome to Waterford Run Forge. Thought I'd give you a quick tour of the shop today. This is the original shop building, and to the right is an addition that we had to put on, and I'll show you why that is in just a minute. Here's a view from the front door. This is the original part of the shop. You can see the hammer in the back. That's a number 2 Champion. It's a really nice old mechanical hammer. Works really well. But I don't do much work on it anymore, so not sure what we'll do with it. This was where I had the original forge set up. It's now on the other side of the shop, so this is mostly for welding and assembly. Over here we have a iron worker. It's a 90-ton Scotchman iron worker, and very handy when you're doing a lot of production work. It's able to cut things off really quickly. It's got a, it's got the shearing function over there. Got an angle cutter, hole punch up here in front. Doesn't have the nibbler like the Piranha iron workers, but this is pretty nice. The vertical bandsaw, a mill, and a lathe over here. So all the 3-phase machining stuff is all in one area. And then in the back here, got the grinding room, and got the 2x72 belt sanders here. This first one is the Evolution, house-made, Brian House. I bought this from Brian down at the Atlanta Knife Show. It's a really nice machine. Got great control on the belt tracking. That's what I like best about it. That and the tool rest. It also turns 90 degrees, which is really helpful. This is a Bader model, number 3. It's also a very nice grinder, very heavy duty. The tool rest assembly is not as robust on this one, and the adjuster's a little bit, it works fine. It's just a little bit less refined than on the Evolution. But I use this a lot for doing the rough out. And then this one is the first 2x72 grinder I had. I built this from a set of plans I got off the internet. It also works pretty well, but the other handles are just bent over screws, so needs a little bit of refinement, but it works just fine. And then over here I've got the Bader Space Savers. I got 2 of them. I wasn't looking for 2, but I got a great buy on 2, basically the 2 for the price of 1, so I got them both. I just use this one on the left most of the time. It's got a large cloth wheel. They used I'm not sure what they used this for, but they used a 2-inch belt on a 3-inch wheel, and so I've got to get that changed out, get a 2-inch wheel. Back in the back we've got a grinder, got a conventional stone on one side, diamond wheel on the other for sharpening tools and things. And then another setup with a stone and a wire wheel, and then 2 polishing discs for putting a finish on blades and things. And then there's a surface grinder. I do plan to convert this to be using this 2x72 belts, since I have them already for the belt grinders. That should make this a lot faster. This works great. It's just kind of slow with a 1/2-inch thick wheel. Here's a view into the other side of the shop. This is in that addition on the right-hand side of the shop I showed you from outside. We got the heat treat oven here, and they got the Cole H-frame 25-ton press with the electronic control unit. That thing is great. And there's a 40-kilogram Anyang hammer. This is reasonably new, a couple of years old. A 5-horse single-phase motor, so you just turn it on and it's ready to go. This is the main coal forge that I've worked at for many years. I didn't have gas in the shop for quite a while, but I have added that recently. So it's the old Champion 400 blower and a coal forge. That's what I did, where I've done most of my work. And then this is my newest anvil. This is a Fontanini 460 pounder. I really like it. I didn't think I was going to like the shelf on it, but I really ended up using that a lot. It's a great anvil. And then in the back is just a vise station. It's attached to an I-beam that's bolted to the wall. That's got sheetrock on it, but it's actually a concrete wall behind there. So it's a great base to work from. The I-beam makes a nice shelf for holding tools, and it stands the vise off from the wall enough so you can do twisting there. This is a large old cast iron forge. It's a Buffalo Forge Company model. Never really used it as a coal forge because it didn't draw very well with the hood up there. Not surprising, I suppose, if you know how the chimneys work. But I put a positive draw on the exhaust here recently, and that helps get the fumes from the gas forge out of the shop. This is a house-made. It's the Helios forge. It's got 2 ribbon burners on the side. See here, the ribbon burners. It's got a shut-off valve in case you lose power, and it cuts the gas off. So it's got a nice big firebox. You can see it hasn't been used much. I just have test fired it so far. And the reason that I haven't used it is I was installing a new gas supply. So this is the manifold that I just added in. It's got 3 taps because I have 3 gas forges, and they all run on a little bit different set pressure. So rather than adjusting them all the time, I just paid about $50 extra for the fittings and set up this little manifold. And that line runs up, over, and out of the building to a 500-gallon propane tank in the ground outside the shop. And that means I don't have to lug these back and forth to the propane supplier every week or so. And I don't have delivery service out here, but I'm hoping this will make it a lot easier to use the gas forges. There's another Champion blower. This is an old Peter Wright anvil. That was my main anvil till I bought the new Fontanini. I really like this anvil as well. The horn in particular. I like the pointiness of the horn. It's very useful. Then there's another forging station back here. The idea was eventually to do classes. Haven't done that yet. And then there's another workstation back there. Each of these work areas has access to a forge, an anvil, and a vise. Another forge, an anvil, and a vise back there in the back. And so finally, I'll get to the reason that we had to build the addition in the first place. And that is this guy. That is a nasal 3B hammer that I bought back in 2005 from Wallace Metalwork up in Kempton, Pennsylvania. And went up there and got it back here. It took me a little while to dig the foundation, but there are 2 trucks of concrete underneath there in a hole that's about 6 feet long and 5 feet wide, 3 feet deep, and filled up with reinforcing steel and about 6 foot long anchor bolts that go all the way to the bottom. And anyway, it took me quite a while to go through the machine and take it all apart. There's a little bit of pitting in this front cylinder, but it seems to work really nicely. Anyway, when I got this here, I couldn't get it inside the building. It was too heavy. You can see that's the outside of what used to be the outside of the shop. So we dug the foundation and installed it outside, and then built the addition around it. This thing is quite a hammer. I haven't used it very much, just because I haven't had a lot of time to work on it. I had some issues with the motor, and those have all been straightened out. And I had some issues with the oiler, which was completely destroyed. The one that came on it was a Mansell oiler, a 6-port Mansell oiler. I found a replacement oiler. This one is by a company named Bauer. And it's also a 6-port, but it was a mechanical pump type oiler and not a continuously driven one. So I modified the internals. I have a video on that I'm still working on. But I've modified that to run continuously. And rather than run it on a belt off of the flywheel like it used to be, I've run it with a variable speed gear motor. Seems to work really well. You can just turn it on up here. You can change the speed. Once you've got the drip set the way you want, you can increase or decrease the whole collection of them just by changing the speed on the motor. It's nice. You can start this before you run the hammer, and it gets a little oil moving, and then you just got to remember to shut it off when you're done forging, or you just pump all your oil into the machine. And back in the back here is the old Westinghouse motor. This thing had some pretty rough leads on it, so I had a motor shop go through it and pull new leads, and they put 9 leads on it, so it can be run at 240 or 220 or 440. And when I first got this, it was set up with a 22 tooth drive gear, and I ordered a new one, a new drive gear, and when it came, it only had 18 teeth. So turns out that an 18 tooth gear corresponds to 180 blows per minute, and a 22 tooth corresponds to 220 blows a minute. And the specs for this machine say it's supposed to run at 180, and it was originally set up to run at 220. So I'm wondering if maybe it was originally intended to go to someplace with 50 hertz electricity, because the ratio of 50 to 60 is pretty close to the ratio of 18 to 22. So at 50 hertz, the 22 tooth gear would have run about the same speed as the 18 tooth gear at 60 hertz. It's just a theory, but I don't know why else it would have been geared that way. I will start this thing up, show you what it sounds like. All right, so the phase converter is on in the other room, and now we'll give it a start.